Hey, my friends, jumping back into Orenji's channel with Band-Maid documentary of our barefoot assassin, Misa. I think she's probably the one I know the least about at this point. As always, going to do it in parts, so let's jump in.
じゃあ次はベースミサにしま
ミ
しょう。
サちゃん。
ミサちゃんは1回目で言ってびっくりされるのはステージドリンクがウイスキーストレート。
本当にあの人酔っ払うんです。
ねえ、もう本当に2時間とかはまあ長いとやったり
すると結構後半はもう、フラフラというか
もう
ベロベロというか
ベロベロですもんね。出来上がりつつある感じですもんね。
あるかなって感じ。
まあでもよりね、なんだろう、グルービーなベースを
そうベースの演奏が良くなるから
緊張しいだったりちょっとするところがあるので、
ピュアだから
とてもバンドメイドで
Yeah, I get that totally. A lot of people have turned to alcohol because they are nervous to be on a big stage. You know, Steve Clark from Def Leppard, that was his issue, guys. He was so nervous that that's what calmed him down, and ultimately it sadly led to his death. But man, you know, I sit there and I think of, say, like Def Leppard playing in front of 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people. And I can't imagine the anxiety, you know, that it would take. And a lot of people drink to take that edge off. So hopefully Misa can rein that stuff in at some point in time and get more comfortable. Hate to see her just become a total alcoholic, you know what I mean? That's not a good thing. However, I'm not saying she is. I'm sure she's not, but I'm just saying I totally get it.
一番純粋な心を持ってるの。
見た目はねクールビューティーな、
クールビューティー
アジアンビューティーな感じなんだけど、
海外からのね人気はすごいですもんね。
一番ですね。
ミサミサってすごいコールが起きるぐらい。
だって怖い印象を受けるもんね。最初は
あんまりこう喋らないからね。
そう怖い人だと思ってましたっていうコメントよく見る。
ね、でも小学生みたいなねことで。すごいくだらないことでミサちゃん一番笑うし
変顔もすごいする、
もう一番そういうの大好きだもんね。だから怖いとは一番真逆にいる
一番面白い人かもしれない。
そうだっぽね。バンドメイドの一番面白い人だっぽね、きっと。
With an introduction like that, I think we can figure out who's going to be highlighted in today's video. So today, let's talk about Misa. Misa was born on October 15th in Okayama, a prefecture close to Osaka, and next to Hyogo, where Akane was born.
It's really interesting how in Japan it's like a prefecture. Here it's like just states. It's super cool, and as I'm looking at this map, Japan actually has a whole lot of prefectures. It's super cool to learn stuff like this, guys. I love it. And that's why I do these videos, because I don't know, I feel it's respectful to the fans, to the band, and I just love to learn everything I can about music, guys. That's what the channel's about. And I've learned so many bands, about so many bands, and so much about so many bands. Been an incredible ride, and you Maniacs are a huge part of that, and I just want to take a second to thank you guys. You know, I see a lot of channels get a lot of views on Band-Maid, way more than I ever get, but that doesn't matter because you guys matter to me. Those of you who are here to watch it, this channel has never been about monetization, money, or views. It's just about the journey, and just learning new music, seeing new artists. It's super fun.
According to her mother, she was an easy child to raise, as she used to play by herself. Even though she was a lively child, she always avoided dangerous situations and tried to act like an adult. She loved music and arts in general, but hated studying. And just like Kanami and Akane, Music has been a part of Misa's life since her early childhood, as she started to learn piano when she was around 4. In elementary school, she joined a brass band and played alto horn. Right when she entered junior high school,
Multi-talented.
Misa moved to Tokyo due to family circumstances, and her temper changed a lot. She had a hard time fitting in with life in the big city and getting along with her peers from the same grade. She was also afraid to be judged because of her accent, which was different from the other children, and became more and more introverted. In 7th grade, she started to play guitar, but ended up joining a concert band in 9th grade, where she played the trumpet.
Wow.
Even though she did learn a lot of different instruments, she kept learning piano for a few years. In high school, she played as a guitarist vocalist in a Keon club with a Fender Squier model that she bought. One day, an older friend of Misa asked her if she could join his band as a bassist. Until then, she'd never thought about playing bass. She started to play guitar and always wanted to play drums, but bass? It had never crossed her mind. Misa borrowed a bass and started to play, and even though it was difficult, she loved it and bought a Squier P bass immediately so she could give back the bass she borrowed. And one of the main reasons Misa got introduced to music at such an early age was that her mother listened to music all the time. This is how Misa got to hear bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and The Who when she was still only in kindergarten.
Nice.
Her mother was also very supportive and helped Misa choose the right school when she hesitated between university and professional college. Misa started a course on sound engineering in a professional college before changing to a bass course, as she didn't want to work behind a stage, but on stage
Nice.
as a professional bassist. Before talking about Band-Maid, let's take a look at Misa's past experience in the music industry. Except for small band.
Wow, she is like multi-talented. This is what I tell you guys. It seems like everybody in Japan can play more than one thing. I mean, I can play, 4 or 5 things. Guitar, little bass, little drums, little keyboard, like a mandolin, but definitely not like, well. I mean, guitar is probably my strongest strength playing anything. But, I mean, man, she's switching up brass instruments. It's just so cool that she goes through all this stuff and gets asked to play bass, and then suddenly, wham, she's got her love. That's awesome.
Bands during her school years, Misa had been a member of a band named Prototype for 5.5 years between 2008 and 2013. Prototype was a small band composed of 4 members, and the band made at least 2 mini-albums and performed several live concerts. We don't have that much information, but it seems that they sold their CDs directly and not via music stores. They used to perform in and around Shimokitazawa, which is where Misa lived, and Shibuya.
Wow.
There is a review
I'll go back to that.
Kitazawa, which is where Misa lived, and Shibuya.
Wow. Look at this. It's beautiful. You look at places like Tokyo. It's so colorful. I have definitely got to see if I can find a video like to react to touring Tokyo. I really want to see this. It's unbelievable. When we were checking around with like Miku for guitars and stuff, it was so unreal to see so many guitar shops and multi floors. The closest guitar shop to me is about 50 minutes away, and there really aren't that many anywhere near me. They're just like kind of gone extinct because the everything you can buy on the internet. So I really love the fact that in Japan you can go buy a guitar, You know, it's not, okay, I got to order it or whatever. Unbelievable.
Shibuya. There is a review of one of their live performances which states that they sound like the Smashing Pumpkins and
Oh,
are
man.
appealing to everyone who loves Western music. The person who wrote this review also said that they couldn't stop smiling. It sounds like this band must have played some great music. But that's not all. While
Man.
she was playing for Prototype, Misa joined another band called Hurtist. This band was formed with 6 members who performed live several times before disbanding in October 2012. You can find 3 of their live videos
I got to look at this. I got to check them out.
ending in October 2012. You can find
I have got to check these out.
3 of their live videos on their YouTube channel. Misa and Akane also met in 2012 as they were going to the same school, the Tokyo Music School.
All right, guys, we're going to stop it here because now I want to check out Hurtis. This is what I love, guys, and this is what I always say about Japan. It's like one band starts here, and then people leave, more bands, more bands, more bands, more bands. It's incredible. All right, guys, and another reason I'm stopping this is that we're at almost 12 minutes. Most people don't hang around that long, so I like to break them up. Anyway, have a great night, guys. Super fun hanging out with Orenji on his channel. And you guys, we'll see you tomorrow with the next part of our Barefoot Assassins documentary from Orenji's channel. Hope you guys have a great night. Stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Hey, my friends, jumping back in with our Barefoot Assassin, Misa. Somebody was telling me they just saw her, and she only had a pint of whiskey. She was drinking beer. So, you know, I just get a little concerned, you know, that she eventually get hooked on that stuff, and we don't want that to happen to her. Not a good road to go down. So, anyway, let's jump back in.
Hurtist. This band was formed with 6 members who performed live several times before disbanding in October 2012. You can find 3 of their live videos on their YouTube channel. Misa and Akane also met in 2012 as they were going to the same school, the Tokyo Music School. They connected immediately as instrumentalists and worked together on several projects. The same year, they made an appearance as actors in an MV of the singer-actress Becky with the song Yoruka Switch. In 2015, Misa, along with Konami and Akane, were at the 5th anniversary party of the idol band Predia in Zepp, Tokyo, as a backing band. You remember the link between Predia and Band-Maid, right? There was a band called Mochi to Cheese made by Akane, Konami, and 3 members from Predia. All right, we are in May 2013. Prototype announced that they will disband in July, and Band-Maid posted an audition announcement on May 29th. The next month, on June 5th, Misa announced on her old account linked to Prototype that she's going to an audition. Does this mean that Misa had the perfect timing to join Band-Maid?
Absolutely.
Let's see how she was recruited. In another interview, Misa confirmed that Akane tried to recruit her into Band-Maid right when Prototype announced their disbanding. But Akane didn't know about this information, so she was bold enough to invite Misa to join another band. And it paid off. Now, Misa has said that she was in izakaya when Akane called her, and she was pretty drunk, so she had to take at least the night to think about it. Misa listened to the demo and found that the songs were proper rock music and cool. She was actually afraid that this band would be an idol band. As she didn't want to stop playing bass, Misa quickly accepted the invitation to join Band-Maid the day after Akane talked to her.
Nice.
So in the end, Miku recruited Konami, who was found on Nico Nico. And then Konami recruited Akane just after the restaurant she was working at closed, and Akane recruited Misa just after her group disbanded. Wow. If that is not fate,
I love the narrator's
don't know
voice.
what is.
Super
Now
cool.
that Misa had joined Band-Maid, it's a new start for our favorite bassist. A new start, yes, but with one problem. The maid outfit. Misa was never into cosplay, so she wasn't used to wearing this kind of clothing. She felt really uncomfortable during the first live shows and with the first version of her outfit. It was also around this time when Misa thought about quitting Band-Maid. It was during the first or second one-man performance, and Misa was already working a lot in addition to her work for Band-Maid, so she was in really bad physical and mental condition. She felt that the music she liked was too far from the music she played with the band, and started to think about leaving and forming a band where she could play the kind of music she liked. She talked to the manager, who proposed that she take a good look at the view from the stage, at the masters and princesses, and decide after that. Thankfully, the reactions and responses from the crowd that day moved Misa deeply enough so she chose to stay with Band-Maid.
Thank
She
God.
was sure that this band had great potential and could become way bigger. Time flies by, and we are at that moment where Konami is writing songs for the band. From world domination, but more in Conqueror and Unseen World, Misa actively participated in songwriting on her bass lines and has felt more freedom since then. Konami gives out notes from time to time depending on the song and what she has in mind. While writing music, Misa thinks more about what would serve the quality of the song rather than be sure that it's playable immediately. She had difficulties recording some songs of Unseen World because of that, but she managed to get them recorded in the end by spending more time on the hardest parts. And even if a song is really difficult,
Practice, guys.
Misa will always practice enough so that she doesn't have to look at her hands while she's playing live. For example, the first part of No God was written by Konami, and she asked Misa to write the rest of the song. At this time, Misa was learning bass and drum programming, so she wrote those two parts, including her solo. It was a new experience for her.
Guys, it's kind of like, it's so cool. Renji does such great documentaries. So informative. I mean, you know, who would have thought? I mean, oh, I'm going to quit, you know. But she worked hard. And that's the key, guys, if you want to learn an instrument. It's hard, but you can do it. You just got to stick to it. Play it every day. If you're having a difficult time in one part, just play it over and over. Just start out slow, and as you get more comfortable, build your speed. And the key to playing, I think, for me anyway, is to relax. When you're not relaxed, if you're tense because you know that there's hard parts coming up, it makes it harder to play. Our Barefoot Assassin, I can't imagine Band-Maid without her. She's such a huge part. You know, and I'm so glad that bands in Japan seem to be more about the music and not about who wrote what, because that breaks up more bands than anything. You know, they all go in there thinking one for all, you know, all for one and one for all. We'll all put our names on it no matter who wrote the songs. And in the end, it never works out that way because somebody says, well, no, well, I wrote most of the songs. I should get most of the money. Too many bands like that, you know, do that, and it ruins the band. It breaks it up. When you get bands that don't work together, that just put money, fame ahead of the music, it never works. Somebody always winds up leaving. I mean, Kiss is the perfect example of that. they always said the worst thing they did was to make all the merchandise that they did back in the day. You know what I mean? It was everywhere. And it became less about the music and more about Kiss, the corporation. And then they came along in the 90s with the Unplugged, MTV Unplugged. And I picked up a guitar or a magazine, I don't remember what it was, but just a rock magazine. And, you know, there's probably 100 pages in it. Good sized magazine. And I'll bet you there was 40 Kiss ads selling something. Kiss caskets, you know, Kiss coolers, Kiss everything. And I was just like, you know, I lost all respect for them. I love them, the music, but on that side of it, I have zero respect. You know, I mean, they kind of drove Ace Frehley and Peter Criss out. You know, Paul and Gene, got to be their way. I don't think they were ever treated really like equal members. And that's just an example. And I don't mean Kiss any offense. I grew up with Kiss. My first rock record was Kiss Alive 2. And I had everything, you know, that they had out. So it just makes me sad. However, bands in Japan seem to be more about the music, you know. Hey, let's write it together. So, you know, One OK Rock is a perfect example of that too. They all write stuff, but they're like brothers. There's no dissension in the ranks. It's like, you know, we trust Taka, you know. We trust what he's thinking. So I think Band-Maid is a lot like that. Work together, you know, to make the music better. And that's key.
And she had to send new riffs to Konami every week for Unseen World. And although she obviously sent her demos to Konami, Misa used to send them to another member, Psyche. Misa sent her work to Psyche to confirm that her bass line was easy to sing with, and also because Psyche praises her a lot.
That's respect, guys.
And Misa loves to be praised by Psyche when she's working on a new song. As she wrote in an interview, I just send them to her without saying anything in order to get praised by her. That's my source of energy. That makes me enjoy drinking better. What
Yeah,
a
you can
great
see the
group of
bottle up
friends.
above her head there too. Bottle of whiskey.
There are two particularities regarding Misa when you see her perform on stage. The first one is that she never wears shoes when she's playing, with some exceptions on very hot days during outside performances, as the stage can get really hot. This is something she has done since the beginning of Band-Maid. You can see her wearing shoes in some MV, but most of the time, she likes to play barefoot. She answered a question from a fan in 2014 on Twitter, saying that heels hurt her feet and are really hard to walk in, so she chose not to wear anything at all.
Smart move.
Misa even ended up with the nickname the Barefoot Assassin. Why? Well, first of all, she plays barefoot. And during the Gold Rush interview, when the band was asked about the maid outfits, and particularly Misa's, which didn't look like a maid outfit, Miku answered that it's an assassin-made outfit. The second thing you'll notice about Misa is that she always has a bottle of whiskey on her amp while performing live. And she even drinks in the MV of Don't You Tell Me. If you look closely at every performance, you can spot the bottle that she drinks during MCs. During the US tour in 2022, she even had her own opening ceremony where she opened a can of beer in front of her mic to make a loud sound, and the audience really loved that moment. Misa used to open a can of beer or drink whiskey during MCs for a long time, and she even shared a bit of her whiskey with a fan in 2019 during a concert in the New York Mercury Lounge. She is thought to be the one who drinks the most, but if you had a chance to listen to the Radio for Omesu-sama episode aired on August 1st, 2021, you would learn that they all actually drink a lot, except for Konami, who falls asleep before she gets a chance to drink. Despite her love for alcohol, Misa tweeted in May 2022 that she came to realize that it was too much for her and she decided to be more careful in the future. All
right, guys, we'll stop her here. I didn't realize they all were like big drinkers. Wow. You see Misa with that bottle, on her amp all the time, on her orange amp. Um, this band is just so cool. And I totally get her, not wanting to wear heels. I mean, it really amazes me. Like Miku walking around in those heels, it's just, man, gotta be painful. Anyway, my friends, I hope you're having a great day. I'll be back with more Band-Maid. You guys know that. Hope you're having a great week, guys, and we'll see you soon. Hey, my friends, jumping back into the Band-Maid documentary from Orange, Misa. Let's jump in, and now we're going to have some people talking about her. Probably just a little bit off, just a few seconds, but we're going to start right here.
So what makes Misa a great bassist? First of all, she went to musical school, so she learned a lot about music theory. You can see that in her playing. She's constantly moving around the wood note, adding or removing note at the end of her phrases, changing the tone by going all over the neck and not just staying at the low end. She masters all the playing style, finger style, slap, pick. She knows when to use them and always use the right one at the right moment.
For sure.
She can switch from one to another in a blink of an eye, like when she does her pick flip to switch from pick to slap. Her right hand work is so smooth and precise. It's mesmerizing. When it comes to her role in the band, she's a lead bassist. She can flawlessly jump from just playing the root note to taking the lead or providing an harmony to the vocals, and all of this in the same bar. There is no boundaries in her playing. That's what makes her so interesting and very inspiring to me. She's my favorite bassist, and I hope to hear her and Band-Maid for a lot more years.
When I think back about all of the bands that I've loved for many years, so many great bass players. But when I think of the bassists who really excited me, or more importantly, the ones whose parts I wanted to learn how to play, I think they all have kind of one thing in common. And that's the use of the bass, not just as a tonal and rhythmic foundation for a song, or that kind of glue that holds a band together, but they use the instrument as another source of melody and melodicism and musicality. And I think there are far fewer of those kinds of bassists out there. So imagine my delight as a bassist discovering Band-Maid, where you have Misa, who's just constantly up and down the neck, playing what aren't super complicated parts, but making these really musical choices about a note here versus a note here. She's in many ways a counterpart to Konami, in that they're always expanding on a riff or adding new textures or new little motifs. They may play something fairly straight the first time, but after that, forget it. And it's not, again, like the parts are super complicated or technically difficult. They're just really smart, or
difficult
for me, the big thing is that they're really musical.
How would I describe Misa's playing style? That's a tall order. What makes her special to me is her writing and her flawless ability to judge what to play and when to play it, without shying away from taking up space. She doesn't just serve the song, filling out the lower frequencies, locking up with the drums. She's actively creating a large portion of what makes the songs what they are. The groove, drive.
I've been saying that, guys. It's not just a kind of behind everything else rhythm thing. She's always adding something. She's a master at, using pick, or just jumping back and forth from pick to slap. She is one of the best bass players out there. Another great one you guys should check out if you don't know. Check out B.O.B. and Weedy, the bass player there. Oh, man. She's incredible, too. Check her out. But, yeah, our Barefoot Assassin is just... I think she adds more depth to the band than most bass players do. I kind of find a lot of bass is just kind of... It's there for the rhythm, you know what I mean? It helped, with that and the drums. However, with Band-Maid, it's Misa's always out there doing something, adding something, just a little thing. You know what I mean? That makes the song so much better. She's incredible, guys. I mean, every member of Band-Maid is just, they're so talented, and they're the perfect, absolutely perfect mix to be playing together. Unbelievable.
Momentum,
I love that
anticipation, tension. It's like all her parts serve a purpose larger than just playing notes that work in the right tempo.
Exactly.
She really adds another thick layer to the onion that is Band-Maid. One of my favorite habits of hers is when she's having a bit of a bass solo during the guitar solo, as can be heard in Manners and Reincarnation, for example. It's so backwards to the old tropes about backing down during a solo, but it's always so tastefully made and never distracting, rather the opposite. She also has this ability to tap into what the other instruments are doing and create her own parts from that, seamlessly switching between what instruments to follow. A prime example of that can be heard in the second verse of About Us, especially in the live version. She starts out by establishing the groove with the drums for the first 3 bars, and then a fill during the 4th bar, setting herself up for the next 4 bars, where she gradually starts playing off the vocals. The first 2 bars by matching the vocal phrases subdivided by 16th notes, and for the second 2 bars, now the transition is complete, and now she just plays a lower harmony to the vocals. After that, she immediately switches to locking up rhythmically to Kanami's octave climb for 1 bar, and then, for the last bar, she rounds everything off with a little fill of 16th notes, almost like a drum fill. All that during 10 bars. Her playing and writing is a big reason why I keep coming back to their music over and over again.
I agree.
Thank you very much for taking the time to share your experience and knowledge and your feelings regarding Misa's playstyle. I wonder what you, the viewer, what do you think of Misa as a bassist? I'm very interested to know what's on your mind. Let's move to the end of our journey.
I don't know. I think when I look at this band as individuals, I just see so much talent. And I think everybody complements each other perfectly. You know what I mean? It's just like, think about it. You know, I mean, Miku with vocals, I mean, and her rhythm guitar, it adds so much more dimension. You get Misa, like he said, with fills. She knows when to put them in. She knows when to not put them in. This band just needs to be way more popular, guys. Way more popular. They have worked so hard to get where they are, and they're also talented. I love them. All right, guys. I'm going to finish up the second one in a second part a little bit later tonight. So we'll see you in that part, guys. I just got tons of reactions I got to get to, so look for the next part here in just a little bit. All right, have a good one. Hey guys, back for the last part of this. I thought I heard my wife call me for dinner. However, it is not time for dinner. Otherwise, I would have finished it in one. But we'll just finish it up right now so we can move on to the next one. So here we are with our Barefoot Assassin. Let's finish this up.
Misa learned to play a lot of instruments, and even though she knew which ones she wanted to learn, she ended up playing the one instrument she never even thought about. From the moment she picked up a bass, Misa never stopped playing it. She loves bass so much that she even switched courses to become a professional bassist and live from her passion.
Nice.
In the end, Misa ended up with Band-Maid thanks to the boldest move and the perfect timing. And Band-Maid is a band where everyone shines. Everyone has a moment in every song. We're used to seeing guitarists and drummers.
Wow, guys, I never really thought of it that way, but it's true. You get Konami doing a guitar solo. I mean, or Misa doing something. Wow. I never really thought of that, guys. Never really thought about it. What a way to put that. And now that I think about it, Connie having like just a little mini drum solo. I mean, wow, that is a mind blower. I never thought of it that way. That is a great point. And that's why I love these, because it gives you insight into this, into the band, into the members, that maybe you won't have if you don't watch these. I love these. I'm so glad and so thankful that Orenji does them and allows us to react to them. What a super cool guy.
Drummers being highlighted, but bassists? That's not very common.
No.
How many bands that you listen to allow their bassist to really shine? I'm talking about bands with 2 guitars or a guitar and a piano. I'm sure you can find some examples, but since its creation, Band-Maid has always found a way to allow Misa to find her spotlight. From thrill
It's killer.
to influencer. Dice. Or even manners. During live performances, introducing a song, or to go crazy on a duel with
Awesome.
Konami. Even though Misa's personality is mostly introverted, when she is on stage playing bass, she seems finally free and is having the time of her life. She even learned programming and participated actively in the songwriting process. Since she joined Band-Maid, Misa followed her passion to become a professional bassist and surrounded herself with the best group of friends who have become very close to what we can call
Family.
a family.
She's awesome. I'm telling you guys, Orenji has such great stuff. Thanks, Orenji. Greatly appreciate it. Unbelievable. But yeah, that's how I see them. They're like a family. And he's talking about what bands, the only band that really pops into my head, and it's probably not a band that he was looking for, is Rush. I mean, because Geddy Lee he'll get his moments in songs, but I'm thinking of the other bands, all the other bands that I know, and I just can't think of one who does what Misa does. Has little solos in the songs. It's just super uncommon. And it's just one more thing that makes Band-Maid unique and just awesome. All right, my friends. Now I got to go find a live version of Thrill because I really want to hear that song. So we'll catch you in that, and have a great weekend. It's Friday. Take care.